The Irish government, aided and abetted by their British counterparts, have been trying to assist and solve the crisis in unionism since the DUP started to self-destruct last month. This is missing the reality of what is actually happening and ignoring the elephant in the room. The crisis is not in unionism, but in the colonial construct of Northern Ireland, the unravelling and the self-destruction of this abomination. The partition of Ireland 100 years ago was a brutal act of British imperialism to protect its colonial interests. The world has moved on and accepted long ago that colonialism was wrong. It should never have happened and has no place in the world today and must be abolished in the same way as slavery was. Unfortunately, the Unionists in the North have not faced up to the reality of life in the 21st century. Unionism as a remnant of this brutal past can no longer stand in the way or veto the self-determination of the Irish people. The partition of Ireland and the subjugation of the Irish people by Britain has long past been acceptable, no more than apartheid was in South Africa. The partition of Ireland was a component of the British Empire. The British Empire no longer exists. The last remaining vestiges of it must be confined to history also. Neither veto, excuse or delusion will stop the course of history, nor deny the legitimacy of the self-determination of the Irish people. To think that the Unionist ruling class can be cajoled, persuaded or convinced into joining a united Ireland is deluded in the extreme. We only need to look at the reality of Unionist majority rule in the North for 100 years, which amounted to the subjugation and discrimination in a two-tier society of privilege for one and discrimination for the other, kept in place by force by the B Specials, the RUC, the British Army and the Loyalist death squads. After 30 years of war and 80 years of misrule, the majority of the people of Ireland voted for the Good Friday Agreement. The Good Friday Agreement, weak and all as it is, has proven to be a step too far for unionism. The Good Friday Agreement sets out a route to British withdrawal and reunification of Ireland. Honest brokers may have naively believed that it was only a matter of time before unionism would accept the reality of a changing world and fully engage with the spirit of the agreement and concede equality to their Republican neighbours. This was never going to happen. Such is their supremacist, no-surrender mindset, evident in the refusal to introduce an Irish Language Act. When campaigning for abortion rights and marriage equality, the people confronted many powerful opponents from church, state and beyond. This did not stop the struggle and eventual victory of what was right. The same goes for Irish unity. Self-determination is the legitimate goal of the Irish people and will not be stopped by colonialists or those who wish to continue to walk over the rights of their neighbours. Unionism's divide and conquer rule has done nothing for their followers and inevitably failed the unionist working class, leading them into a cul-de-sac of reaction. Unionists have used and manipulated their followers as a weapon to stoke up division any time they felt the need, only to abandon them to jail cells when they didn't. Unlike the North, in post-colonial Ireland, Unionists fared much better in the South. Despite the Catholic ethos of the state, there was little or no discrimination against citizens based on religion. Despite this, it is understandable why many who identify as Unionist, and Republican for that matter, would want no truck with the Southern regime as it stands. It is far from a workers' paradise. The working class have been kept apart for 100 years by their common, if unrealised, enemy, imperialism. A socialist republic has always been at the heart of the struggle for self-determination. Socialism will unite the working class, naturally, on their own programme, instead of being cajoled or bought off into an unnatural alliance with manufactured enemies only to continue to be exploited by the same ruling class. A consensus will not mean a unionist veto in a socialist republic. It will be a united working class, Catholic, Protestant and a centre. As James Connolly said, to effect its emancipation, Labour must organise society on the basis of labour. This cannot be done while the forces of government are in the hands of the rich. Therefore, the governing power must be wrested from the hands of the rich. When Ireland joins the nation of the world as an independent sovereign country, socialism is the glue that will join all of the people